my daughter is like obsessed with the Grinch. Like Grinch is like a year-round thing.
Hilarious.
So like
not Christmas, just the Grinch.
When Christmas is around, we get Grinch merch, which is always fun.
Yeah.
But like it's a year-round thing.
Yeah.
But so I've had the chance to watch it so many times, and I have always said, I'm like, you guys, this movie is about childhood trauma.
Wow.
So stay with me.
Hold on, pause, because I see it immediately. Is it the animation one or the real life one?
You can do either, but
Okay,
you can do either one. So everyone is pretty much familiar, right, with Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah.
And okay, let's just throw out some words. When we think about the Grinch, what do we think of?
Mean.
What else?
Scary.
Depressed,
right? So these are his presenting problems.
Yeah.
If Grinch came to us as an adult.
Isolated.
I'm isolated. I'm mean.
Yeah.
People don't want to be around me.
Maybe an eating disorder.
Yeah. I haven't picked up that one yet. I'm gonna think about it.
Very restrictive.
But this is where my child, like, this is where my brain goes, is like, okay, so Grinch, you know, when they do the flashbacks, Grinch grew up without parents. You know, he grew up without a loving home. He grew up in a place where he didn't have people care about him. And every year, every Christmas season, he got to see all these families get together, have these traditions, have these big, you know, meals together, and things that were like glaringly absent from his life, you know. So talk about triggers, right? Every year was a trigger, a reminder of him, of this absence, this parental absence that he had. So then throughout his adolescent years, you know, he started to become more externalizing with his behaviors, right? Like he kind of became off-putting to all the people in, what was it, like Whoville? He didn't jam to anybody in Whoville, and kind of had this reputation, right? Like, you're a mean one. You've got, you know, you've got kind of this stank attitude. And it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, nobody likes me anyways. Let me reject you first before you have the chance to reject me. You know, so I'm going to ostracize myself. I'm going to move to the top of Mount Crumpet, away from everybody. And like, that was a coping mechanism, you know, like, this has been his whole life, his whole childhood. He has felt undeserving of love. He has felt this abandonment. He has had this yearning for these experiences where he felt safe, secure, had these safe attachments. And in his way, like, it manifested in his world of, I hate Christmas. I'm mean. I don't want to be around people. I'm going to stay up here and like soak in my, like, with his little dog.
Which is also very trauma. That's the only thing he connected with was an animal.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Max, his dog Max. That was like his sidekick.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah, and so I feel like through that story, though, like, you see how these early childhood experiences of being, you know, I think back then it was like, I think they labeled him like the orphan, right? But like, you think about a kid in foster care, you think about a kid who's been in multiple homes, and every Christmas season, they're like, wow,
everybody else gets this.
Everybody else has a family that comes together. Everybody else has these big meals. Like, I've never had that. I've never had people want to come around me and sing and open presents, and, you know, and so that trigger became this like driving force for his externalizing behaviors of, I'm going to be mean, I'm going to be grumpy, I'm going to push people away. And then my girl, Cindy Lou Who.
I know, I was thinking
Cindy Lou Who comes in for that developmental repair. She's like,
no, you're so right.
She's like, come here, let me love you. And he's like, I'm not, you know, like, I'm not into it. Like, again, let me push you away. You're just like everyone else. And she's like, no, really, you can come to my, you can come to my table. There's a spot for you, you know? And it was like that first time, I think, that she was like, yes, you're mean, you're, you know, ugly, you're up at the top of Mount Crumpet, and you deserve love. Like, you deserve security. You deserve to spend Christmas with people, with community. And then at the end of the movie, it's like, you know, his heart grows like, what, 3 times you know, bigger. And again, I think that just kind of goes to show not just like about how kids and adults can like manifest these things. But again, it's like these narratives that we tell ourselves in the beginning or those early years of our lives can really influence our perception of the world, of who we are, what we're deserving of.
Right.
So yeah, that's my take on the